Many years ago, there is a village in West Africa called Amachai. In the village of Amachai lived a couple who gave birth to a son named Somayana. Few years after the birth of Somayana, his parents died. On their way back from a neighboring village, and he went to live with his father's brother. As days go by, Somayana grew up to be a handsome young man. Everyone in the village liked him because he was smart and liked to help people. He was always ready to learn new things. Also in the village lived an old chief of Amachai who was named Chief Dunku. He could tell that Somayana was different. Chief Dunku was compassionate and good to the people of Amachai. He is always doing what was best for the village. One day, he called Somayana to his house for a chat. As a leader, you should be ready to assist everyone who is in need, not just yourself, he told Somayana. Few weeks later, Chief Dunku got sick and passed on, which was sad, and the people of Amachai needed a new leader. Everyone said collectively that Somayana would be a great leader because he was nice and smart. When Somayana was crowned as the new chief, everyone was happy. With drums rolling, music and dancing, they had a party and were excited about the future of Amachai. Somayana, as a new chief, promised to be a great leader and said he will make Amachai a great place to live and envied by neighboring villages. It was good as soon as Somayana became the chief of Amachai. First, he had very useful ideas that helped the village. He supervised the repair and renovation of old buildings, made the village irrigation system better for farming, by distributing food around to villagers that are in need, especially the elderly. However, things began to change slowly. He was a powerful and wealthy chief of Amachai. He liked the attention and the people in the town praised his guidance, and Amachai was doing very well. Somayana began to want more and more luxuries for himself, without even being aware of his actions. The people in the village still believed that Somayana would be a great leader, but they didn't know that he was becoming more and more greedy. But Somayana became more and more greedy as his fame grew. He began to think that the village wealth was due to his hard work and started demanding for more. Few months after his coronation as chief of Amachai, Somayana's approach changed. He began to tax the villagers heavily, saying it was for the betterment of the community. The villagers believed him and didn't say anything bad about it. As time went on, taxes went up, and Somayana kept more of the money for himself. He made his house bigger and filled it with really nice things. He also wore the best clothes in the village as the chief. The people in the village began to notice that their leader had changed in his ways. They talked about it quietly to each other. Worried about the growing expectations, people tried to figure out why he was doing what he was doing. But he told them that everything is going to be fine, that he's trying to make the village better for the future of their children, and that people should relax and worry less. It got worse for Somayana as his desire for money grew. Focusing on getting richer, he didn't care about what the villagers needed. The crops didn't do well as well because the irrigation system is bad. Crops failed to grow, and it was hard for the people to survive in the village. Fear and anger took the place of peace in Amachai. The people who used to be happy and friendly became scared and unhappy. Before Somayana took over, Amachai was a happy, loving, and rich town. Now it was becoming a sad place to live. Crops used to grow in lots of fields, but now they were empty. The people of Amachai were hungry and angry. Happiness and laughter turned into cries of hunger and sadness. The lack of food made people be friends fight each other. The town of Amachai wasn't as beneficial as it used to be. The young ones were going to bed hungry, and old people were in pain because they are not getting the care and help they needed. Because Somayana kept asking for more money, families were having a hard time getting food. Somayana did not see the pain around him because he was too greedy. He was loving his comfort while his people were in pain. He was too busy with his luxury lifestyle to notice that things were getting worse in the village. Akonam, a wise old man, saw that everyone in town was sad. He had lived long enough to see many leaders come and go in the village. He knew something had to change. Akonam was a respected person because he was always fair and knew how to make things better for the people. When Akonam saw how desperate Amachai was, he decided to do something. He secretly called a meeting of the village leaders and some people he trusted and knew they would be willing to make corrective actions. At night, they got together in a quiet part of the town about what to do and their choices. The villagers told Akonam they were scared and upset and asked him what they should do so that everyone will be happy again. Akonam paid close attention, and the sadness in his eyes showed that he was sad for his people. He knew that yelling at Chief Somayana would make things worse in the village. He thought of a way to teach the chief a good lesson about being humble and not being selfish. The people of Amachai wanted things to get better so badly that they agreed to Akonam's plan because they trusted and believed in him. Akonam came up with a plan to teach the chief a lesson without making him mad. He called the people together once more and told them that they have to wait and work together to make things better. He said, change will only happen if everyone worked together and understood the reason of their togetherness. Everyone in the town agreed on the secret plan. They did not give Somayana the best crops. They only gave him the bad ones. They would bury their best food so that they could eat. Everyone worked together to hide their best crops and only give Somayana what was left over without regret. Somayana noticed that the quality and amount of goods he got was poor. Bad yam tubers and potatoes, small goats and other livestock. He was upset and confused. So he complained to the villagers about the quality and quantity of the food supplies. However, the people lied and said that their farmlands were no longer productive because they had worked them too much and did not have enough resources to maintain them. Because he was too greedy, Somayana could not see the link between his high taxes and the villagers' problems. He was so greedy, he did not notice that he was the one who took so much from them. Akonam kept showing the villagers the way and telling them to stick together and be patient. He knew that their plan would only work if they could stick together and help each other. The villagers found comfort in the fact that they were all going through the same pain and sadness. He brought them closer together and gave them back the sense of community they had lost when Somayana became their chief. At the same time, Somayana was becoming more and more worried. He did not know why things were going badly in the village. The fact that he was losing his power and the nice things he liked made him angry. As the harvest festival got closer, Akonam suggested a big feast to remember the dead and enjoy the season. And I gladly agreed because he wanted to show off his wealth and power. He asked the villagers to bring their best food for the feast as a way to show how rich the town was and how great he was as the chief of Amachai. But the villagers remembered what Akonam had planned, so they only brought the worst fruits and crops to the house of the chief. They hid all the goods so they would have enough to eat and to show Somayana how greedy he had been. They all felt bad that they had to lie to their chief that they are ready for the party. On the day of the ceremony, drums, music, and singing could be heard, but there was a lot of anxiety in the air. Somayana sat at the head of the table and looked forward to a big feast. As the party started, he noticed that the food was not very good. He thought the food would be so nice. The meat was hard and tasteless, and the fruits were small and bruised. As Somayana looked around, he was angry. The villagers ate the food quietly, Somayana could not hold back any longer and wanted to know why they so bad. He asked out loud, "Why is this fish so bad? Where are the plentiful harvests and the delicious dishes we used to enjoy?" The villagers looked at each other nervously, but Akonam took a cool step forward. He walked up to the chief and told him in a cool voice, "What you see here is because of what you did. The villagers are having a hard time because you were greedy and took too much from us through taxes. We used to give you a lot of good food, but now we cannot because you have taken so much from us." After getting very angry, Somayana looked at his people and saw that Akonam was right. He saw that they were tired and sad, which made him realize Akonam was right. Things became more and more quiet as the party went on. He could tell that the people were unhappy, and he finally understood how bad things had become because of his greed. He went to talk to Akonam after the party and asked, "Why didn't anyone tell me things were so bad? We tried to tell you, but you only cared about being rich and powerful," Akonam said in a nice voice. "You were so focused on getting more things that you did not notice the pains of other people." Somayana bowed his head because he knew that what he has done was wrong. What can I do to make things right? Because he really wanted to make things better, he asked. Akonam looked at him with a sad and hopeful face. "You need to learn how to be humble again," he said. "Go to other villages and look at how the people there are led by their chiefs. Check out how much they care about their people. That is the only way you can learn how to be a good chief again." Somayana did not want to do it. He knew it would be hard, but it was the only way to fix things and make Amacha a better village once again. He packed his bags and left, determined to learn from his mistakes. Somayana left his fancy home and the friendly faces of his villagers to go on a journey. He went through dense forests and across wide rivers. Along the way, he stopped at different villages. Somayana met Chief Otula in the first village. Chief Otula was a humble and wise leader who was known for being fair. He greeted Somayana warmly and asked him to watch how he governs his people. Somayana watched Chief Otula work with villagers, sharing their work and listening to their problems. He saw how much they respected and loved him. He learned what it means to be a real leader. In a different village, Somayana met Chief Afamefuna, a kind and caring leader who put the health and happiness of his people above everything else. Chief Afamefuna made sure that everyone had food and resources, and he solved problems with empathy and kindness. Somayana learned from him how important it is to care about others and not be selfish. As Somayana went from village to village, he saw the happiness and success that came from having a good leader who was fair and caring. He learned that real power was not about money or control, but about helping and supporting his village. These lessons made him humble and made him realize how his bad leadership style hurts others. When Somayana chose to go back to Amachai, he has repented from his bad ways. He had learned a lot about what it means to be a fair and honest chief. He was ready to use what he had learned to make things better and lead his village with empathy and kindness. The villagers in Amachai were careful and concerned when Somayana came back. They heard about his trip and were wondering if their leader had really changed. Somayana called a meeting of the villagers and bowed his head in shame. He said to the people of Amachai, "I have hurt you with my greed and selfishness. I have seen my mistakes and learned what it means to be a wonderful leader. I ask for your forgiveness and promise to lead with fairness, compassion, and humility from now on." People in the village gave close attention to his actions. At first, they were not sure if they should believe him, but Somayana looked so sorry, and the wise elder Akonam was there with him to say that Somayana had really changed. The people slowly began to forgive their chief because they could tell he meant what he said. Chief Somayana immediately started to fix things in the village. He lowered taxes and gave money to people who needed it. He also worked with the villagers and rebuilt the community. The villagers started to trust him again because of what he has done since he returned from his journey. The villagers slowly got better. The fields turned green and full of crops, and the sounds of laughter and happiness came back. Somayana's repentance brought the villagers together, and they helped each other better. The village became a strong community once again, like it did before Somayana greed took over. The village of Amachai did well again under Somayana's new leadership. The villagers saw their chief sincere effort to make things better for them, so they worked together to rebuild the community and making the village wealthy again. Somayana set a good example by giving out money and working with his people. He made sure that everyone had enough food to eat. Resources were shared fairly. He also listened to the villagers' concerns and settled disagreements in a fair and compassionate way. His people respected and admired his humility and hard work. There was enough food for everyone because the field in the village turned green again and produced lots of crops. The sounds of children playing and villagers laughing filled the air, bringing back the happy moments of Amachai. Akonam was very proud to see that Amachai was once again happy. He knew that Chief Somayana had learned that he needed to be humble and not be selfish. Everyone in Amachai worked together to keep the village peacefully and happy. The villagers told stories about Somayana's actions, teaching the future generation humble and kind. Somayana's journey of forgiveness not only saved the village, but also left a legacy of kindness and fairness that will last for generations to come. The people of Amachai remained happy for many years. Everyone got along and had everything they needed. They never forgot what they learned from Somayana's greed and how he changed for the better. Akonam, who was wiser and older now, would often gather the children together under a big tree to tell them the story of Chief Somayana. His voice, though weak from old age, was warm and strong as he told the story. The youngsters would listen with wide eyes open as he taught them about humility, selflessness, and real leadership. Everyone respected Chief Somayana, who was also old now. Sometimes he would join Akonam when he told the story. He would tell his part of the story as well, reminding everyone that it is okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them and try to be better. Because he had changed so much, he was a living example of Akonam's story. He showed everyone that even if you fail in your duties, you can always get back on your feet by making humble and dedicated changes. Other nearby villages heard about Somayana's leadership style and asked him for advice on how to be a good leader. Somayana told them all about his mistakes and how he learned to care about his people more than himself. His story made many people in other villages want to be humble and be a fair leader as well. We should always remember that when a leader is exceptionally greedy and selfish, without caring about the well-being of other people, the whole community will be in pains and sufferings. This kind of greed can cause serious problems, making life hard for everyone in the community. Compassionate and fair leadership creates a happy and a better community for people to enjoy themselves without hatred. Leaders who listen and support their people build a stronger, loving, and more united society. Even those who have made big mistakes can change and redeem themselves. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I hope you learned something from the story. If you enjoyed this video, please support my channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing with your loved ones.